We are.
We are. Good. Do you...
Little time delay on there.
Okay. Good. Hello, everyone. Do we have anybody in the chat? I don't know why it's not popping up my chat. I'm having technical issues. Hunter, are you on the live? Do you see it?
I'm watching the live on my phone. It's
Awesome.
about 15 seconds, about 10 seconds behind.
Oh, that's interesting. That's going to be fun. Let me just start the virtual studio here so we can actually see the chat. That's weird. Okay, let me redo this. Sorry guys, this is this is me being a techno not wizard.
It's always this way. I've tried to do these things a few times and it never works out in any way. The first like 5-10 minutes, you're always like, hold on, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll be with you in a hot shake and a...
Yes.
Like...
Okay, this one, got it.
Not the live stream you're looking for.
Oh, yeah. Warning, open studio. Okay. We are live. Okay, great. I do have a thing. Whee! I can see the chat. I can see the whole thing.
Just saw your wave here. Like
yes.
The wave you did. Just saw.
Yes. Okay, well, my...
Oh, you're doing it.
Apparently the internet is being stupid, but let's see. Yeah, we'll just have it like this. So hello everybody who's there with us. We're going to be a bit late on the chatting and the everything. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be all having a good time, and we have Hunter and Jared with us today. Thanks for coming, guys. It's going to be a fun stream. In about 2 minutes we're going to start the actual video of the fight, and then we can have fun breaking it down. Anything you want to talk about before we start?
Thanks for having us. Looking forward to diving back into this old gym.
Yes.
Always a blast working with you guys, and I'm just happy to be here with you all. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, so I'm glad you dusted it off and brought it back up.
Yeah, great. No, I'm just happy to have you guys. You know, as you know, I started my channel pretty recently, and having you two on as the first guests really to break down a fight, I'm very happy about that. So let's, you know, couple more minutes. We'll start with the viewing. So before we get into it, for the people who are already here, how did that fight actually start? How did we come up with that? Because I don't really remember.
Yeah, well, let's piece it together. So
yes.
I'll tell you my recollections, because
yes.
we are talking 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you had just gotten some pads, and you're like, "Oh, come check them out." And I remember going back to your room, and
that's already a great start.
Yeah. And you had them all laid out, and the funny part is, to this day, my hard shells are the ones that you got and showed me, the VPD 2.0s.
Yeah.
I love those things to this day. So yeah, I remember that, and then I just remember, like, we had time, and it was like, hey, why don't we, like, shoot something?
Yeah. That sounds, it does sound familiar.
yeah, so it's like, all right, let's fight. And I feel like we just kind of from there, like I know Hunter's awesome and John's awesome, so either I don't know if we sought them out or if it was
I remember
just
you going to
lucky.
me either out of class or like from lunch. You were like, "Hey, we're fighting later, so at lunchtime, eat quick and then come train." And I think we started that rehearsal at like a lunchtime hour.
No, that does
We're
sound
not
like.
breaking up classes. We were like, "No, we need to get in on the extra."
Yeah. No, that
That
does
sounds like me. I probably didn't ask. I was just like, "You're in, Hunter. Let's go."
You know, we
Your ass later outside the bar, like, okay.
okay, we're fighting. Yeah. I seem to remember that we also had a we shot another thing. Was it the same year or 2 years later? We shot this other big thing. I got thrown in the stairs into a mat and a couple of things.
One Against Many. That was another year, I think.
Yeah, that was okay. I've never seen that. Was it ever edited together?
We edited together. Yeah.
We didn't do that. That was DFB. He was at the helm of that because I was busy with something, so I wasn't a part of it. But I remember all the pads and the stairs and the big stair throw.
Yeah.
So I walked by that at least.
But you weren't involved in it. You were just like, oh, things are happening.
No, that one wasn't me. Yeah. Was it lunch or was it dinner, Hunter?
But I think you sought me out around lunch, and then I think we came back dinner.
We ate real quick and then started rehearsing.
We do it all in one day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That,
we had a break.
that was part
the
of it.
rehearsal and the shoot, though, didn't we?
I'm not sure we had rehearsal.
Did it?
We did.
We wouldn't. Like,
Yeah, I
walk it out.
remember
Okay.
that. So either, yeah, I think we rehearsed first,
Yeah.
in that little time slot. So like the classes were done and we rehearsed, meaning made our choreo, and then we went and ate, and then maybe we rehearsed a little more before we shot.
That checks out.
But part of what I've always loved about this fight is I can point to it and go, when you have professionals, this is the kind of stuff that can happen, because from concept to rough cut was, I think, 14 hours.
Yeah, just us thinking about the thing and then, okay, let's make it happen.
Yeah, came up with choreo, like put it in the outside the bar. You know, sometimes poor choices are made.
Yeah.
Talking about Kyle, right?
No, I'm talking about 20 below zero outside fighting. Who thought that was a good idea? Oh no, we're gonna fight in the bar. That's what it was. Oh, I'm so glad we're talking about this, because we went down there and we talked to them about doing the fight in the bar, and they said no. So we said, can we fight outside the bar? And they said, shh. And we said, that sounds like a yes.
It was not a no, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we got about 6 people with us at the moment, so I have no idea if we're going to get more. If they come in during the breakdown, very good, very well. I'll give it another minute to get us started, and we'll, as soon as it hit 4:35, I'll start us. Are we ready?
Okay.
I'm going to mute us. Hopefully it'll work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, someone yell at me or say something. Oh yes, I should probably look at the chat. Is there a chat? Is someone in the chat? Oh yes.
Yes.
People are there. There is a chat. Okay, lovely. 4:35. Okay, let's take a look. Let's do it.
Where's the apology? Where I'm going, why don't you apologize?
I got nothing to apologize for. I was walking backwards.
Yeah, no, it's not. Maybe if you want an apology, maybe you should learn how to give an apology.
I'll give one.
What you apologize for? What
Can't, it's not showing the fight. Just no. Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Dominic. I will mute again because I can't help.
Microphone was muted. Do we have anything else now, or no? Curse me and my lack of wizardry.
You muted still, Jared.
That's okay. Hunter was dancing.
Yeah, that's
That's
good. We
worth the
love
price of
dancing Hunter. We have another story about Dancing Hunter too.
There's always a story about Dancing Hunter.
Okay. Okay, transition. Let me. Okay, that's why. That's because I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah, things are because I'm an idiot. Okay, it's starting, probably. Maybe.
Alright. Muting.
Is it working this time?
Yeah, it's up.
Lovely. I should probably watch the stream, but you know.
Where's the apology? Where I'm going, why don't you apologize?
I got nothing to apologize for. I was walking backwards.
Yeah, no, it's not. Maybe if you want an apology, maybe you should learn how to give an apology.
I'll give
What you
one.
apologize for? What
Yeah, you should mute also.
Fuck you, dude! Yeah! Shit. Fuck you! Come on, man. Get out of here. You're out, man!
You did it.
Oh my god. Hello again. I am back.
It's still playing on.
What?
We're about 10 seconds lag.
That's
so.
okay. That's okay. It's still
Yeah, I
playing.
just finished mine. There we go.
Okay. So that was a fun rewatch. I'm trying to not judge myself, but obviously, this is what we do. I saw so many rainbow punches. For those in the chat who don't know, rainbow punching is when you avoid a person's head because you're worried they're not gonna dodge, or you're worried about hurting them. So you go way above their head, and it just if you know what you're looking for. It's just like, you were worried about the thing. Hunter, that was fun. I liked. I always like that little bit at the end where you just crunch your head and everything stops.
It only bled once, so we got the right take.
It's probably the most perfect sound effect.
Yeah.
Like anytime I showed people that, because of that sound effect and the way Hunter sold it, like you always get a people.
Yeah.
Sound design counts for a whole lot. And a good double.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember part of our goal was to make sure that we swapped, because we wanted to fight the other person also, and we all were going to hit the ground once.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad I put a bit of a Hong Kong in there from a spin. And it's now that we're talking about it, obviously we're just like trying to put a fight that looked good, and again we did that so quickly, like you said, 14 hours from the inception of the idea to we're going to do this in the bar to we're going to do this outside, and from there to actually doing the thing. Obviously the whole as far as story wise, it wasn't the most important thing that we were focusing on. The story, obviously, having stunt people just fight each other, and so I think there's two things that I want to bring up about that. The first one being the stuntman special that we talked about earlier, where it's just like whenever you have stunt people that are looking to make a fight happen, they'll just, wherever they are, they'll have them come at each other and just bump into each other, and then suddenly we have to fight. This is the most important thing in my life, and we go from 0 to 100 right away. I don't know if you have something to say about those that little one.
Well, there's always a standoff, or there's always an action. It's like, I just want to see who hurt you and why you have to fight this person right now. Don't you have better things to do in life than this moment? But okay.
Yeah, just one. You could solve this with a conversation. Just say a word and like just say sorry, and you're good. That's like the whole thing about that.
Exactly. Just say you're sorry.
But I mean, on the upside, I think we did a good job selling it. Like, John played drunk so beautifully, and I had to dig deep to find an asshole character. I mean, it's hard for me. Is that sarcasm?
You need that righteous indignation, Jared.
Yes,
righteous indignation.
Yeah.
I think
happened to my 15-year-old me.
Yeah. And I think the second thing I wanted to bring up is because we're obviously all drunk. Well, the two of us, me and John, coming out drunk. We're like, oh, we're playing, and suddenly I'm like fighting like nothing happened. Like I'm doing spin kicks and doing I'm doing kebab like nothing has happened. Like that's on me not keeping character. I should have just gone drunken master. But it was like, yeah, obviously we're fighting now. I'm okay. I haven't been drinking.
So, or you're that much of a master, because it's still to date one of my favorite compliments I ever got was at Combat Con. This was 2014, and one of my students came out and they'd seen me fence before, and Combat Con's one of the only times I may have a drink or two before fencing. Or 3 or 4, and so I was out there fencing, and I'll never forget, my student came up afterwards and drunk Jared fences just like sober Jared.
It's great.
That's a great compliment. It really is.
Like, so
I'll
Hunter, don't leave.
I know you're lagging a little bit for me, Jared.
Yes, okay. Hunter, you still there with us?
I think your character was just that.
We're losing you a bit, Jared. Your internet is being obnoxious to us.
Oh,
At least you're in a smile.
Yes, you're smiling, so that's a good thing. We have a question, so hopefully you'll be back by then, Jared, and you can still hear us. Dominic in the chat is asking us.
Stay on the phone.
Oh, things are losing things apparently. I can't do anything. I'm sorry. I don't have more internet to give to the screen. But we have a question. So how did we decide who was in the bar and not the fight? I think we need to talk about who was in the bar at that moment, because we have a shot of of Kyle in there. Who, you know, for the people who don't know who Kyle Rowling is, he did some of the fight scenes for Star Wars Episode 3. The big, he double Count Dooku, if I'm not wrong,
Yes.
right? He double Count Dooku in the prequels, and he also
He's in 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yeah. So he doubled in there, and he did some of the fights for. So he trained them, and he did some of the fights for the movie. So it's just so funny that, you know, someone of his stature and everything is just the guy who's not fighting in our fight.
He's got his internal battles,
Yes.
his own demons.
Oh, sorry, my camera's gone. We'll come
I
back.
remember the price he gave us, because we had to pay him to be in it, but it was, we had to keep his drink full
Which is
while
fair.
we were shooting.
Which is great. Let me just turn my camera back on.
Multiple trips inside, I'm sure. That
My-
makes that continuity.
Yes. Hopefully my camera comes back. Or not. Yes, I'm out of batteries. Yay!
Oh,
Well, that's okay. I've got one more coming up. So let's keep us going. It's just a failed camera thing. But
Beautiful.
we could still talk, guys. Guys, go on. Talk about the things while I change my battery during technical difficulties.
Well, fighting in the cold is always fun. Everything hurts more whenever you make contact. Our clothes were very tight with extra pads underneath, so the flexibility and range is not what you would like to have for a lot of that. And it's shoot it, get it, come on. So gotta
and
hit hard.
you threw that Sayuchi, and it was like, oh, I remember one of them you paid. You
Yeah.
paid for one of them.
There's always one that gets you, and you're like,
Ah.
okay, I think we can move on. I think we've had it. Either we got it that time or we got it before.
What I think another funny part of that, just so everybody knows, we only had one gator back. I think it was his, and so we only had the one, so nobody could fall at the same time. We passed around the gator pack for each of the falls. And yeah, like you're saying, it's 20 below zero when we're on concrete, so there's zero give.
That's true. There was no give. It was cold, and yeah, that was not the best time, but it was. We made the best out of it, I think, for the time we spent on it.
Yeah, we gotta give a shout out to Dylan for the camera work. That definitely great camera work and editing. And that is another one of my happy memories from it, because I do remember the only break we took in shooting that was because it was so cold, the camera lens froze. And we had to go in and let it thaw out. And so that was the only time we took a break. But it was the advantage of shooting the pairs of fights that two of us could go warm up while the other two were fighting, and then we would swap.
Right.
And we just needed that transition shot at one point to say, oh yeah, here we go. Now we've got all of us there, but obviously we weren't.
Yeah, that's true. And no, God damn it. Am I gone again? Well, too bad. I have no more camera. No more.
You
So,
look like you're there in the live stream right now, but my live stream is also lagging.
Yes.
But you're not there in my Discord.
yeah, I think that's my my camera is doing something weird, but that's okay. I'll talk and we'll be fine, and I'll try to change it. But speaking of batteries, which is one of the other issues for those of you who are not in the industry, once you go outside, each battery loses at least 50% of its life. So you are always fighting the camera. Not just the lens, but the camera batteries. You're like, okay, gotta shoot. As we keep going, I think I would like to break down the fight in detail. So I'll pull it back up a couple of beats, and we can. I know we're all delayed and everything but we'll do our best to go through that. Give me a second. So as we go, let me pull the thing again, and we'll go through the first few beats. Boom, and we don't need that. 3, 2, 1, fight, but okay.
Fight.
Go.
Hunter looking pretty as always.
Not as pretty as you, but
Where you going, man? Where's the apology? Where I'm going, why don't you apologize?
I got nothing to apologize for. I was walking backwards.
Yeah, no, it's not. Maybe if you wanted an apology, maybe you
Missed
should
that,
learn how to
Jared.
give an apology.
Jared,
Come on, get it, Jared.
so we don't have the initial like. I immediately want to fight you.
No, that's true. I paused
It
it.
does escalate when he doesn't get his apology.
He doesn't get the apology. But I like to. Yes.
I'm a reasonable guy.
Exactly. You apologize. I'll stop punching you in the face.
Yeah.
So it's not my fault.
Yeah, if you want to talk about there, like even with John not rainbowing for that punch because you didn't chase him down, it's like, are you really trying to swing at him? And so now we try to like sweep for the back basically every single time.
Yeah.
Pollution.
Haha. I think I'll have it. Come back, camera. Oh well, no more camera for me. Too bad. So yeah, those few first beats were nice with the camera motion added to it. So Hunter, do you spend a lot of time behind camera?
Not as much as I'd like.
Fair enough. So what have you found that accentuates the fight as far as motions go? You know, as far as without making it too shaky. What have you found that works best in your experience to make it move faster, or maybe just show more the opinion of what you want to show for camera on the fight side?
Well, as much as possible, in addition to just having the choreo, I like to have the choreo move across. And so if you have the camera chasing behind the hero driving the action, or on the flip side, on the receiving action, pulling back as like a incoming combo comes at you, you can really highlight the fanaticism of the action on a strong pull. Basically let the audience feel that drive with you if you really want to sell the movement of the piece. It's nice to open up for those kind of squared off exchanges, but in those bits you really see when the actors aren't trying to close the distance to make the shot. So it's nice for choreo to get the tat 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 tat, but if no one's actually taking a step to the other person, we're just dancing. So
No,
having that motion on the side and 3/4 really allows to pick up a lot of the vibe.
Oops.
What about you, Jerry? What would you say for camera work?
That is actually a focus a lot more in the last year. So I'm watching and seeing things in a very different way. But just like you're talking about that push and that pull. I think also pivots. Like I'm really enjoying moving either with the action, so that hook's coming from the right, going with it, versus what story we tell when you work counter it.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a thing I was watching recently about the action in the raid, and how even when it was multiple attackers coming in, multiple actions happening, the action and the eye line was always drawn to the right of frame. So if you want the audience to pick up and follow you through multiple cuts, keep their eye in the same place on screen. But if you're going through a multi-tiered kind of one shot where you can change the placement, now you can bring in some changes. And then anytime you have like a grab and spin is a great time for those bolo shifts, and where you can really pivot the action to either open up the space into a new area, or switch and flip the frame, basically. Switch actors across.
Nice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Great. Let's have a couple more beats. See where we land. Where were we? Boom. Bow. Bow. Boom. 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 So, yes, here we are. Just started
Apology,
the
maybe you
fight.
should learn how to give an
Apologize. Whoop.
Maybe if you want an apology, maybe you should learn how to give an apology.
I'll give one
To
more.
apologize for what.
That big nice hit. Boom, over, punch. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm pausing on Kyle because he just looks slowly. What is he drinking? Is it out of mason jar? Anyway, I'm gonna assume it's moonshine. Okay, let's keep going.
We're delayed, so I
Yeah,
gotta.
we're catching up to you.
Yes. So I just pause as Kyle is drinking.
I see your problem, Kyle. Yeah, he does have a mason jar.
It is full. We did not let it empty. Okay. Let me go a little bit further. Will we see the need from the inside? No, nice.
Table is large, that's kind of
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, let's go until we switch. Yeah. Okay, back to there. Good. Let me know, guys, when you catch up to my.
Oh.
Yeah, nice big punch up and on. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, let's go back to us.
Yeah, we're up to the tag. Take the other guy.
Yes. Yeah. So I think I had my Hong Kong in there, my big nice. We had two of the big falls actually on that sequence. We had from your kick to John's face, and your kick under to me.
The inside crescent with the lack of ability to turn my hip over in the pants. I had that.
It's a hard one, especially. What were you were you wearing jeans and plus the pads under, right?
Yeah. It's like I cannot open my leg out on this one.
No, that's fair. I was just glad I had my big jacket, my big kind of half trench coat, so I could pad up and be kind of warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's one of the things I always say. If I had to be a woman in the stunt business, I wouldn't do it. Like, we get these really big coats and comfy pants and can pad the hell up. So it was funny because yesterday actually I was on a show, on a TV show doubling, and it was one of the first times for me that the costume was too tight.
Oh wow.
And it wasn't even because it was supposed to be, because I'm wearing scrubs, bloody scrubs. So I just assumed, oh, I'll be fine. But they had gotten a size too small.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put my hips on and the costume. And I was like, please, I hope that I can die on my knees or hit my elbow or somewhere that I could throw some pads on. And it worked out, but I rarely run into that problem where we can't pad up.
Yeah.
No, for us, yeah, it is. We are lucky that most of the time we get to wear much more padding. Which reminds me, Hunter, you remember when we went to Saskatoon, trained with Danny the first time, I think, or maybe it was the second time. I wasn't there on the first one, but that's when we did the car hits.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at your face. We love those.
If you look at my shoulder, you can see that my body remembers the car hit.
Yeah, for me, it's my back because I remember 3 people. We were exchanging pads at that point too, like the back pad, the gator back, and 3 people in front of me were just like, "Oh, no, I'm not going to do it." And someone else was wearing the pad, and Danny or Jason, probably Jason at that point, was like, "Okay, come and do the hits." And I was like, "Okay," so, but I didn't have time to put the gator back on and everything, which, I was early 20s, so I was like, it's okay, I'm just rolling over the thing, I'm not actually falling. That was not what happened. Yeah. It was not what happened. I rolled to the top of the car and then to the side and went straight down onto the ground without wearing gator back. That messed me up. So for later on, not on the day, but months later, I was like, "Oh, this is not good."
Yeah, no, they said, "Hunter, your shoulder pads make you look like a football player." Okay.
I'd rather look like a football player than get hurt.
Okay. I took them out, and I had been rolling up the glass and rolling off, and then all fine. And they're like, "Go all the way over." I'm like, "What do I do differently?" They're like, "Just keep rolling." And I was like, "Okay." Oh, I roll up the hood, I roll up the windshield, and then my shoulder goes into the reinforced bit of the hood and the roof instead of on top of the roof. And so I went up and bing, and then off to the side. I got up and I'm just walking, and one arm's hanging off to the side, and the other arm's walking and swinging. They're like, "Hunter, what's wrong with your arm?" I'm like, "Talk about it." And I had about 2 years before, done a dive roll that landed poorly, and I was like, "Oh, my collarbone popped out of place. I'll just go back to the guy whenever I get back and he'll pop it back in." And I went to the doc, and he was like, "Your collarbone's fine. It's your muscle that went." And I was like, "Well, what do I do?" And he's like, "You just wait." And it slowly came back. But I couldn't go above here for a while.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like, "Oh, you're done with that."
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember in Atlanta. Maya threw me onto that net for the, and so I was supposed to land on my side so I could roll, but she threw me head first. So I ended up swimming like this into the ground, into the net, which looks great on the video, but but it basically put my collarbone too high for years. For years, this was painful. This was just painful to do, and I had an RMT just come in and because I thought it was my rotator cuff that was just torn or whatever. I'm like but no, an RMT came and did a 15-minute massage here, and my collarbone went back to where it was supposed to be, and I was like, that was it. That's 7 years of me being in pain doing this for 15 minutes of massage. So if you know an RMT, just go see them. They know better than you do.
What is a RMT?
Is that a Royal Mounted Technician?
Oh, sorry. It's I guess that's a Canadian thing. It's a registered massage therapist.
Ah, okay.
That's how I use the word.
RMPC?
I don't know. What is this? Okay, let's move on a couple of beats further into the fight. I know. Sorry, I'm gonna have to adjust manually because it doesn't pause correctly because I'm an idiot. Okay, we were right after I fall. Okay. Nice, yes, that crescent. Switcheroo. Yeah, that's a nice kip up. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Now, if you wanted to play up your drunkenness, you could kip all the way through into a face plant.
Yes, you know, I love that part. Sorry, I'm stopping it, as you can see. I'm stopping it at just before you do your flip, Hunter. Let's go back to us for a minute. Yeah. Let me know when you're back caught up.
I'm caught up to.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, yeah, I had the follow. You were talking about the kip up, right? Yeah, we saw your crescent and the kip up. I have been working on it. I can still do the kip all the way through to my face and kind of crawl, which I think I did when we did that dance off in the bar.
That probably checks out.
Yeah, with which is another part of where your shoulder was injured.
That was that when I did that dance off? I was so upset, man. I've done so many falls throughout my damn life. I slid across the floor on my knees and fell forward and caught myself, and I popped my shoulder out of place for the first time ever, like dislocated my shoulder. And so I went to Doc and I was like, "Hey Doc, I didn't talk to you over here." He's like, "What?" I go, "No, over here." Took him to the front of the bar. He's like, "What?" I go, "No, out here." He's like, "Come on, yeah, shoulder." What? Pop it in place. Okay, thank you. He's like, "All right. Take 2 of these, finish your drink, go to bed." I was like,
but yeah, so that was fun. I mean, the kip up looks pretty nice, and then we got that switch when you come in, Hunter. We got a full switch, and then Hunter, you come in with those couple of hits, and that spin around back kick, which is nice.
all right, it's all right. See, in personal retrospect, it's like for flow and for eye line sake, I would want to just continue through. As a combatant, I made sure that the hit, but it worked. Oh God, keep going. So effectiveness versus performance, I would say for theatricality, just flow through.
Yes.
Oh, it's about the fight, silly.
Oh, isn't that? Yeah, I know. It is. I think, you know, because most of us have been teaching at least a little over the years. It's one of the first thing I remember us learning, even Hunter, when we were in Seattle, is for all of us martial artists. It is really, really hard at first to learn fight choreography because you have to unlearn everything about fighting. So the better a fighter you are, the harder it is to unlearn everything you know about fighting. What do you guys have to say about that?
Jared's got the knowing smile.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because I think what you can bring to the fight from martial arts is not what people expect, right? It is a sense of timing, the correct timing of a fight. I think I see a lot of people who don't have a martial arts background. When I watch their fights, that's what's missing. The timing. And then the other thing is the intention to hit, right? When people learn choreo, they're like, okay, I throw my punch and I'm going to stop because I get hit in the next move. But when you're a martial artist and you transition into this, you know, hey, I throw this punch, I'm going to start throwing another punch and then fail. And I think that's one of the assets. I think the deficit that we end up doing is martial arts is about conservation of motion, moving minimally, and all that looks really boring on camera. And so learning how to open it up and now make those moves bigger without what?
Sorry, I'm trying to get myself less blown up. Didn't work at all.
No.
That's why I don't work camera.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing. And then, you know, I've been teaching and training for 30 years now, and that is definitely the biggest thing I see with getting martial artists into this. They're like, no, that's gotta look ridiculous. So I just shoot it, show them, and they're like, whoa, like, yeah, it's gonna feel dumb, but look great.
Yeah. We got a couple of questions in the chat. I don't know if you guys see it, but we've got so Bon Balapti is asking us if how we wing the location for fighting in front of the bar. So Jared, do you want to talk about Paddy a little bit and how I know we discussed that how we got the bar, but we didn't discuss the context of where we were, what we were doing.
Yeah. So the Paddy Crean is an event that's been going on for a long time. My first one was in 1999, and they had already started this biannual approach. So they have a home at the Banff Center. So every other year, we spend a week up at the Banff Center just focusing on stage combat, stunts, and martial arts. Sometimes movement, dance, other things relating to those fields. And it's phenomenal because it is such a great way to cross over. And so if you got into stage combat and you want to learn more reality, you can. If you're in stage combat and you think stunts is the same as stage combat, you can go and do some stunts and find out how wrong you are. If you're stunts and you think stage combat's easy, well, go try to learn to act a fight. My favorite, as a traditional fencing master, people who've done stage combat for a long time and done a lot of sword work, they're like, oh yeah, I can put on a mask and go at it. Yeah, that's easy. And every single person does the same thing when they put on that mask the first time. No matter how long they've had a sword in hand for fake, they always jump back when somebody attacks them. So I think Paddy gives you this opportunity to do a lot of these things and kind of figure out, yeah, I do want to be in that pool. I do want to do that. Or, wow, mad respect for that. But it's not for me, right? And there's enough downtime to do stuff like this where we come up with a silly idea around lunchtime and rehearsed it. We were actually down there shooting by 8, 9 o'clock. So 8, 9 hours later, we were shooting and did that for a couple hours. To answer the question, so were they okay with us shooting outside the bar? The better question is, or the answer to that is, they weren't not okay with us shooting outside the bar. I actually went to them originally. We didn't want to freeze our asses off. So we were going to do the fight in the bar, was the original concept when we came up with the choreo. We talked to them about that and they said, no. And then we said, well, how about if we're out there? And they said, I don't know. And so we decided to ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Yes. Which worked out pretty well.
Yeah, but 20 below zero.
Yeah, not the most fun experience, but the result is pretty good for something we did so fast. I think, like we spoke about earlier, the having professionals or people who know what they're doing, both on camera and in front of camera, being able to just put something together and go for it without having to always like, oh, where's the camera? How are we doing this? And having the camera help us sell the hits. It really made things come together really fast, because I don't remember us having to do retakes really of, oh yeah, that didn't read, that didn't work. It was really more about, oh, okay, we can make this better, but not like, oh, this didn't work at all.
I think that's where we really have to to talk to Dylan's ability, because we came up with choreo and a rough idea, but he shot that in chrono order, and he had that vision, he had that idea in mind. And since he was also the editor, that's what worked out perfectly, because we were done shooting by, I want to say like 9:10, and he just sat in the bar and had that rough cut done by like, I think it was 12:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Nice.
He called us over and showed us a rough cut, because he was camera and could edit and was a stunt guy. He knew all those elements, so he could just shoot for what would work, and then we could move on, because he knew he had it.
Yeah, and I think I wanna specify something there for the people. I mean, I don't know if there's people in the industry or if people who are interested in our industry. If you're going to be creating a fight for camera or anything, and then send it to an editor, make sure you bring your fight guy in the editing room, because
Or send a previs.
yes. If for the stunt guy, just send your previs in. Send your previs. That's going to be useful. So
And maybe they'll pay attention.
Yeah, maybe they will.
That never happens, but at least you can send it.
Yes. So previs, for those who don't know, is you as stunt performers or with the coordinator, you shoot the fight and edit a quick rough of what you want the fight to look like. This is what we want to do. This is how it should be shot, and this is how it should present itself. And then you get ignored, and they do whatever.
Oh, hey, Olivia, we need a master. I mean, why don't we just run the whole fight? Why don't we run everyone through it? We can pick it up from a few angles, and then we'll close in. We'll get it from a medium, and then we'll go over the shoulders. We'll just do it like that. The whole fight from start to finish.
Every time.
6 to 8 times for each lens and setup, and it's going to be great. And then we'll use 4 seconds of it.
Yes.
I think the beauty is that if you can, and I think this is where it behooves us as stunt performers to get behind camera and understand what that dynamic movement is, because like a buddy of mine is he's the fight coordinator for this season of Equalizer, and he's posted a few of the previses and then the final shot, and they pretty much just did that.
They did?
And I think that's a testament to Jim's ability as a stunt performer to also shoot it and present that in a format that makes them go, oh yeah, that. You can see one from Atomic Blonde.
Mm-hmm.
They have the previs and the final, and it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, and
so
I mean, I think that speaks. Yeah, and it speaks to how well that was done. I really enjoyed actually the fight in Atomic Blonde. For me, I mean, I'd have to rewatch them. I think what was interesting again is that it made sense as a fight. Like in the context of that universe, there was truth in context. So we had her being, while yes, she was a little bit stronger than she should have been, she was tired, she was roughed up, and you know the fight took a toll on her, and it wasn't, yes, I am superhero and I'm doing the thing, right? So right. That for me really, like, it's the same thing for except one piece in the hallway scene of the first season of Daredevil. That fight takes a lot out of him. And until he does that spinning kick that I hate. I can see you do it. Because I'm sure you have the same gripes about it.
Get tired, do an aerial.
Yeah, then you spin. You just do a spin for no reason.
But totally with you. And for me, the thing with Atomic Blonde versus like John Wick is that she had the same tempo and power in her hits as John Wick, and didn't play to her size and differentiality. For me, the difference between John Wick and that one was that you had 3 stunt guys that were unkillable, that she did massive amounts of damage to, like pistol whip, and then he punches her, and then they're even, and they continue the fight for another 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm like, damn, y'all, like, all right, like, this is gory and powerful, but I'm not seeing how a war of attrition here and an equalization of violent action. But I did love how the flow, the action, the things paid off in a lot of great ways in that. It was just like, we're only going to use 3 people in this. Beyond that.
Yes.
It's like, damn. All right.
Back to the comments. We have RM Stunts, who's a stunt performer here in Vancouver. It's Ryan Moss. He also worked a lot camera for Superman and Lois, the TV show. So he was doing a lot of the previs for them and working for that. He was saying so his 3 comments so far on that were, you gotta love when there's egg on the face in a fight, because I think the one piece for me, when you call egg on the face, is when you get someone just kind of waiting for the next hit, doing nothing, or just like, and there's no motion. It's like, okay, we're just waiting here, and you can see that either the stunt performer doesn't know how to act, and they're just like, what? Waiting for the next hit, because again, either they're not martial artists, so they don't know that the fight needs to keep moving. They're not staying alive for this. And he's talking also about the how sometimes you get lucky and they do respect your shots as when you do a previs. But the most egregious for me egg on the face that I, even before I started doing any kind of fight, that really took me out of it was in the movie The One. I don't know if you remember one of the first time we saw Jason Statham with Jet Li. They were doing, like, you had Jet Li doing 2 versions of himself in the multiverse and blah blah blah. And at the very, very end of the movie, like, he goes to prison. There's the, like, super dangerous prison universe, which, by the way, if you're trying not to get the guy who's nearly invincible to get dead so that the other guy doesn't destroy the universe, sending him to a prison where you have to fight people is probably not the best idea. But so at the end, one of the guys, he gets someone to an armbar, and then he fights someone else on the side. The guy's just waiting there in the armbar and just doing nothing until he gets thrown back down the pyramid. And I'm just like, it took me out of it. Like, it's the last shot of this, and I wasn't even like, if anything, I had just started doing some fight choreography, and I was like, this is weird and wrong. So yeah, that was egg on the face for me.
You gotta watch out, like, the difference between, like, egg on the face and, like, the Power Ranger days of the Gumbies all dancing around, or the Foot Clan all, like, waiting for their shot, and just, like, line up, is it my turn yet? Is now we're just doing it with camera. So we're super tight in over the shoulder, watching this beat. What happened to that other guy? Oh, don't worry, he's here now. But you don't need to think about where he's been or hiding off to the side. It's like, no, I'd rather you not pretend that I'm silly. Like, you can show me either he got wrecked and that's why he's out, or this has happened, but don't treat me like I'm better than that.
Yeah, but I think for us, yes, but for a lot of people, especially because I think that's a little bit of a professional deformation. Because for most people who watch fights, as soon as something is off camera, it doesn't exist. Like, you can think about it.
I would say.
Sorry?
I would say that goes with timing, though. You have to earn.
Yes, you have to earn that empty beat. You can't just, like, deny it.
If he stumbles off camera, that guy better not be gone for 10 seconds.
Yes. No, that makes sense. Actually, we got Dylan Hintz just came in the chat.
Hey, Dylan.
So you guys, it was cool. It was super fun to work with you all. You had a blast getting to film and cut it. The speed of the edit is a testament to your great performance. Thank you so much, Dylan. We appreciate you coming so fast with this and shooting this in the cold. I don't even remember if you were wearing gloves. I hope you were.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without Dylan.
Okay. I think, oh yeah, sorry guys, I missed a comment earlier from a fellow Canadian. I think that's kind of poking fun at you guys a little bit. It said, I hope you stunt guys in the States have good health insurance.
Nope, this will be the first year I get it. Great.
And so that's actually a question for me too, because I don't know much about the healthcare system when you're in stunts. Is it with SAG?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be. It depends on how you're making your living. So if stunts is your job, then you have to earn to a certain threshold, and then you become eligible for the SAG plan.
I mean, we have the same thing here.
$27,000 or like 100 days.
Okay. Yeah, we have a bit of the same thing here. I mean, in Canada we have global health coverage for most things. Like going to the hospital doesn't cost you money or anything. You pay for prescriptions and some things, but most things are not charged. But for special extended health benefits, so say dental and other thing, you do need more. Another coverage, which is here in Canada for me at the moment provided by ACTRA on the same level that you guys were talking about. So after a certain amount of money, I get a certain level of. But that's the extended benefit. So like, a higher, like that would cover most of my prescription fees, most of my insurance, if I need to go to a massage therapist, if I need to go to a chiropractor or that kind of thing, that gets covered up to a point. And those are
good RMT.
My RMT, yes. So yeah, I just wanted to actually. I'm glad that you guys told me about it because I didn't know about how it was working in the States. For the people who don't know. Jared here is in New York, and Hunter is in LA. So we're just kind of, that speaks, I think, to the international level of the Paddy Crean Workshop and the lifelong friendship it builds. Because we've known each other. I met Hunter in 2009 in Seattle, and we've kind of followed our own paths in the stunt industry, in the acting world, on both sides of the borders, crossing paths every few years, and hopefully getting to actually be on screen together at some point.
At some point, we're going to work that out.
And Jared, I think I met you. Sorry.
I bought a workshop package, and he came up to me. He was like, "All right, you're going to be mine this summer."
And Jared, I met you at CombatCon, right, in 2014, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, it was,
yep, at the Riviera.
At the Riviera, before we moved to the Flamingo.
Yep.
Okay. Before we get
there.
Yeah.
And then, were you at Paddy that year at 2014?
No, I think my first was after CombatCon was my first year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before we get lost, because I know we're going to talk for 3 more hours if we're left to our own devices, let's watch more of the fight so we can finish the breakdown, and then we can talk more about whatever we want.
I'm going to grab a charger.
Yes, sorry. Boom, 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 boom. We were at the point where things happen. Just before Hunter was going to get flipped. That was a great flip, by the way, Hunter.
Thank you. When in doubt and someone's holding your foot, get out.
Yep.
Go for the con.
Yeah, here we are. Spin back kick. Me rainbowing. Another nice thing. Okay, I think that's enough for us to break down once you guys are ready. Jared is gone, but that's all right.
Oh, yeah. I see your rainbow.
Whoops. You see the rainbow, right?
I love how that John throws that flying knee.
Yeah.
Like, I am going to destroy you with all full commitment. I'm like, I'll stomp. I'm not drive kneeing you.
Oh, you've got Heather, who's saying in all caps, "Hunter!"
Heather! She's coming to play.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Hi, Heather.
Get
So
my
yeah.
butt whooped over here.
Sorry, say again.
So just get my butt whooped over here.
Yes, as we do. It's our job. So I liked that flip because for me, when I'm looking at it, and you made a decision I would have done because I wouldn't have done because I'm very protective of my knees, but you did that flip and landed a little bit more on the side. Like usually I would slam with my not with my heel but the flat of my foot, so I do the full front break fall kind of thing, and you went on the side and everything. Like that's a good choice. That's an interesting thing. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that for?
I'm used to laying out for full body, get as much impact with the ground, kind of spreading out the force as long as possible. It was not basically, and I start basically on the ass and then roll to the side as it goes, so I'm not fully taking it on the bone. I can let my big muscle groups, like my
there you go.
focus, take most of the fall. Also, arching, driving the foot down, but I'm okay to let a little bit of a smack come in.
Yeah, no, that was nice.
We're doing it for, right? The reel.
Yeah, that's what we were doing it for real. I think I used that Hong Kong and probably a couple of the kicks in there on my reel a couple of times.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, Jared, we miss you, but you didn't do anything in that part. So, oh no, that's not true. I started throwing a few punches at you. I rainbowed way over your head. I remember now that we're talking about it. I remember we were very, very close. We were very stacked. I don't remember why, but we were so close on that thing, and I was like, I gotta throw this. Oh, we lost your sound.
You muted, Jared.
You muted.
I said, the next time you can just hit me.
I'll just hit you.
I'll move or not,
Or not.
but it'll be my fault.
Yeah. In another fight that I did for the movie Residue, I was fighting this wrestler named Scotty Mack. And, he just, but because he said, oh, just hit me. So I was doing a side kick to him so that he goes back into a toolbox. And we do it a couple of times, and he's like, because, I give it a little contact so that we have, but, it's the hit is stacked, it's fine, I don't need more. But he's just like, on this one, just hit me. He's a wrestler, he's a big wrestling guy. I'm like, you sure? You want me to give you more? Like, yeah, just hit me. So I did. And he, this is a shot we kept. But I give him the side kick, and he just goes and gets off of his feet, slides down and hits his head on the toolbox. But I can see in his eye that he's just like, give me more. We're not stopping. So I changed the choreo on the fly. I just grabbed him up and went into the next beat. And he was super happy about it. He was we got a behind the scenes shot of this. He's he cut a little bit the back of his head, but he just asked me to really kick him. I'm like, okay, you're higher on the call sheet than I am. So
You gotta give him what he wants.
It's always a question. You're like, I know what you're asking me for, and yet I know what I might get in trouble.
Yeah, but it was a lower thing. We're all friends, and I had trained with the guy before, so it wasn't like I was like some guy on set that I've never met. Like, hey, can you kick me? Like, no, I will not do that for you. But for the wrestler and for the level of things we were going on, like, yeah, I'll do it.
I was doing a gag recently, and it was getting cut up, and there's a really long, we're going to just stand while we cut you up, and I'm like, that seems strange, but sure, all right. And then what? Just die? They're like, yeah, and then just fall down and die once we finish the cut. I'm like, okay. So I took the whole cut. And then I was taking my time wavering before I fell down. And then the guy who cut me was like, I don't think you're falling down fast enough. So he raised a big old stomp kick, and I was like, oh, I guess we're doing this.
It just out of nowhere kicked you out of nowhere.
Like, oh, I love a guy who can improv. And I was like, mother.
You do not improv fight beats. Okay? Anybody who's watching, don't improv fight beats.
After we get the shot,
No.
we got it. Great.
I'll say also maybe don't add violence to a callback, because I was doing a Hamlet callback, and we were doing the closet scene with Gertrude. So, and my Hamlet's a little sassy with mommy at that particular point in time. And I feel like she might have had a teenager or something, because after I said, and would it were not so, you are my mother, and she slapped me for real.
I hate the real slaps. I just hate them. And I will die on that hill. Like, you don't need them, ever.
What
my
they
thing
don't-
is that, you better make sure you gotten everything you need from every other angle. If you really want to see skin-to-skin contact in a close-up, sure. But that's the only one you're getting, because now their face is fucking red.
Yeah, it's red. I cringe. I'm like, it's just so. I hate it.
I choreographed
Well, I think-
and she I kept setting her at distance, and I set the whole thing up, and she goes, "Great, perfect." And then she steps in to slap the guy, and I'm like, "What was the whole? We worked this out at range and distance part." She's like, "I thought that was just practice." I go, "No, that's what we're doing."
No, and the funny thing is you can only do it once where it would even look realistic, because after you hit somebody one time, they always flinch.
Yes. They always, of course.
But they're like,
Mm.
And it's like, well, how'd that character know that was coming?
Yeah. Yeah, because now the person is afraid of it, and they're like, I don't want this to happen again. Like, obviously. Yeah, that face.
I'm totally fine with it.
Yeah, Ryan is saying that he's gonna put a slow-mo slap in the next fight. It's gonna happen. The next thing we do is just gonna do.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. Like, you go, everybody gets one, but make it the last shot of the day, make it the thing, whatever. Do whatever you're gonna do, but don't be stupid. Be like, all right, we're starting with this, and then we're gonna go.
Yeah, I don't want makeup yelling at me.
I just don't want my face hurting.
Also that.
While I'm trying to fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the only time I took a contact face punch where you can convince me it's needed because it's slow-mo.
Yeah.
Now
But then you
gotta
shoot-
see.
But then you shoot it
It's
in
not
slow-mo, and you do it in slow-mo, and you double the slow-mo speed, and it's fine. Like, I can fake that, but I'm not gonna take a big hit. Like,
No,
maybe this, but right?
not on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, not on purpose. I've been stabbed before on the stage, yeah, but it's like wasn't it wasn't you.
It wasn't on stage, no. For me.
God. Okay, let's try to finish the fight. We'll get to it. We'll get there. We'll get
Okay.
there. Okay. I love you flipping, Hunter. That's great fall. Oh, look at my face. Rainbowing. Oh, knee. That's great knee, Jared. Oh, great spin.
Hold on, they're not caught up. It's not even on the live stream yet. Okay, just started.
Okay, we've got it. We went all the way. When you guys are ready. I know they're not caught up. I'm just talking in front of the things, but
You just flipped. You just did that great. Okay. Now that knee.
I put my hands in front of it. I know.
There's that. Face to the ground.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay, Hunter, you're muted.
Skadoosh. Face to the ground.
Mm-hmm. So Jared, looking at those beats, any pearls of wisdom?
No, I like it. I'm like, again, it seemed like a whole different thing when we choreoed this and thought we were doing it in a bar.
Yes.
Like, that would have been much more forgiving. But it was like, okay, you really want to do that big old dive roll, Ollie? Like, all right, let's go.
I guess I got it.
Let's fucking go.
And I think shoulder rolls are often the places where I've hurt myself the most in my life, and which I'm very good at them now. But throughout my life, I've really hurt myself doing some of those. Either the leg as it slams back down, or what the worst that happened to me was I was doing a dive roll in the gym, like at my martial arts training dojo, and I did a dive roll over the full length of a crash pad, and I did it twice and it was no problem. But third time I landed, and instead of absorbing with the hand, I went straight down on the elbow, and I was stuck like this for a month. Like, it didn't break anything, but I had like a full basically explosion in there. It was like purple all the way to my hand for a month. It was just like, and I was working furniture
Yes.
delivery at the time, so that was not good for my money.
I took that was one of my worst. Was same thing, was a dive roll. I was diving over somebody who ducked. So, it's a good 3.5 feet, and it was fine all the time until it wasn't, and it was on this stage made of 2x4s. So no forgiving, and I just didn't tuck. And so my full body weight came down right here.
Mm.
And still to this day, I think if you give me a choice in a low fall, like I will do a face off, no problem, but ask me to do a header and I'm like,
Okay. Oh, for the uninitiated, for the civilians in the room, face off and header are terms we use. I mean, everybody has different terms, obviously, in the stunt industry. But for us, for the people we train with, a face off basically is you punching through. So that if I'm falling face first and I'm punching through, so I'm end up falling to my back. A header would be what some people call a front 3/4. So you're going face first as you're falling down like this, and you tuck your head in, so you end up on your back. So those are what the terms mean. Unless I'm mistaken, Jared, did I say a different thing? Do we have different terms for our own things?
You're good.
no, you're absolutely right. Like everyone's got face off, but when it comes to the header or front fall or front suicide or front 3/4, or everyone's got something for it.
We have a couple more things. Heather in the chat is asking if we're doing Paddy again. So when's the next Paddy? Are we going? What's happening?
I'm planning on it.
Mm,
It's what, January 3rd is the start date?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should I
2026.
Hey, Jared, I'm sending in my to be an instructor right live now. I'm selling it to you, so it counts, right?
No, because I'm not part of the board anymore.
God damn it. I'm gonna have to talk to Danny.
Yeah.
A lot of reaching out.
Start there. Talk to Dave Bryce.
But,
Yeah,
for folks- oh, go ahead.
No, I
Pleasure.
just I was on the board for I think 8 years, and then I needed to step down just to focus on my stuff, and yeah, I haven't been back since. So I'm hoping 2026 will work out.
Okay. Good.
I was gonna say that for Paddy people, or for people to understand what Paddy is, it's a glorious sight whenever you're doing sword fighting with like floor to ceiling windows looking out at snowy capped mountains, and you're like, I'm living childhood dreams and fantasies right now, and it's just like, but I'm warm, and that's the big thing. I'm not at negative 20 degrees hitting the concrete.
So
It's a gorgeous, glorious experience, and then just the food was always a top tier thing. They had 5-star food in between to fill you up while you're doing all this.
no, it is truly a great experience. I will for the people interested in everything, I will put a link up in our description, or Heather, actually you're in the chat and you know things. Put the link to the Paddy in the chat here at some point. Like we said before, the Paddy Crean Workshop has been so amazing for so many people, and that cross-pollination of stunts, martial arts, and even some parkour and acting, everything just kind of coming together in this melting pot where we all, I keep saying that we all steal from each other, but really we share. We share everything we know, and we all use, like I use a bunch of the things that say Rick Skeen was talking about on the last thing. He talks about the intimacy of violence, and it's true. I use it in my classes all the time. Violence has to be intimate. It is the nature of violence, and you cannot affect someone, unless with weapons or. But when we're talking about physical contact, we have to be very close and intimate for us to affect each other, and. So that's one thing I still use, and I still use some of the terms from Dave Boucher, and that we learned in '09, all the way back in Seattle. It's just these things, they stay with you. They stay with you, and you learn from so many amazing people. And I think that's been, the fact that we can still, you guys are still here with me doing this this silly little live chat, talking about a fight that we did nearly 10 years ago, I think speaks to the lasting power of of those friendships that are made in those training sessions, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and Combat Con came out of all of that. Paddy was a big influence that Doc and I created ISMAC originally in Michigan, and then that grew into Combat Con, but it was always this Paddy idea of bringing all these elements together. We just wanted Combat Con to focus on European martial arts and then also have stage combat and stunts and historical movement and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can't wait to. This is going to be the last Combat Con this summer, correct?
Yep. Yeah, it is definitely done. We had a party that was interested in taking over, and it was looking good for a little while there, but we've had an amazing deal with the Flamingo this whole time, and they just couldn't keep doing it. So they came back and said, no, this is the price now, and it's not viable.
No, which is often the case when we talking about renting any kind of space for the kind of things that we do.
Well, you did a hell of a run.
It was great. I have some great memories of some of the classes. For what I remember, were really good. I remember also the party van limo that Danny got us. I don't know. That was a different thing.
I have no idea. I spend 16 hours a day running the thing, so I have yet to be in that limo with DFB. So DFB, last year, come on down. I'll jump in the limo this time, guaranteed.
Okay, I think this we've been going for nearly an hour and a half already, so I think we've done with the breakdown of the fight. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to talk to us about the things you've got going on at the moment. If you have links to share or socials, anything you want to talk about, projects and things that you've been in that you can talk about without violating your NDAs, and anything else that you want to leave the people with. Also, thank you so much. Again, I can't thank you enough for being here for this. But go on, tell us all the things. Jared.
Please, Jared, after you.
I'm not good at that stuff. Come to Combat Con, last one. But we're still gonna do workshops and seminars, and the last couple of years we've been doing these experiences. So I think going forward, we're gonna take those out of Vegas and take them on location. So for example, it's not firmed up yet, but I'm hoping by the time Combat Con comes around, I've been running a dueling experience for Combat Con. So you get to go through the whole process of dueling, what it was like, and then you get a mock duel, and you have to arrange seconds and weapons and go through all the training and everything. So I'm working on doing that in New Orleans.
Oh wow,
nice.
So
I've never been to New Orleans, so I would love to come down and go and try my Cajun.
Yeah. Oh, Cafe Du Monde and the beignets, so good. So I think that's kind of that incarnation. Combat Con, the idea will continue, but in smaller kind of events. For stage combat, if anybody wants an excuse to visit New York, we do NYCSS. This is my stage combat company. And we run a summer intensive every year. So you can come and train for a week, and we do, you are cast in fight scenes that we do performances of Friday and Saturday night. So that's a good time.
Awesome.
It's a hell week, but that's a good hell week. Like, all right, here's your fights. Learn for 3 hours. Next fight, learn for 3 hours. All right, go home, practice and sleep. Come back.
Love it.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. Hunter came out a couple of times. So yeah, it's like about 80 hours of training in 7 days. So when we say intense, it is, and we've had people who didn't understand that.
Yeah, it is an intensive. It's not just like, hey, we're gonna play with
At summer
swords.
camp.
Yeah. Speaking of excuses to travel, first weekend in October is going to be the second Action Con in Milan.
Milan.
So if y'all want an excuse
Wait.
to go to Italy and do all things stunts, Stunt Gym Boutique, which is run by Simone Belli, is hosting that, and we did the first one in 2025. It was awesome. Great training, great teachers.
So I just learned about this. Sorry, but I am fighting and doing.
It's
Sorry, you, Jared, still here? Yes. So in October, I'll be fighting a Sanda fight
What?
and doing a bunch of kung fu
Yeah.
in a competition in Rome. So I think I might just have to do both these things together.
That's awesome.
nice.
Also, you should come see me. You know,
Oh.
either win or get my ass handed to me in Sanda.
I mean,
either
both
of
those
would be good.
sound awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we get hit and hit people for a living. This one's just going to be a little harder.
Yeah.
Great, amazing. Hunter, what do you got going on? Tell us about what's happening. I see a Jedi thing behind you. Can you tell us about that just quickly?
These are my games that I can talk about as Jedi Survivor. I played Zeke, and I was one of the first sub bosses you kill on Kobo. Played in that game. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you killed anyone, you killed me, because I do all the victim deaths in that game.
Lovely.
And like that was some of my fun. Was like show up on set. What's the weapon you're killing me with? And then all right, great, let's play.
Yeah.
And just figure out all the different ways to
Yeah.
build the deaths and like draw out the torture and make it more graphic, more visceral. But I just came out as Graves in Yu-Gi-Oh's new Go Rush animation episode, so doing the English dub for that.
Awesome.
And play Monster Hunter Wilds. You'll encounter me as Rove, and he's a fun little wood stoic. So enjoying the voiceover world right now and doing projects as I can. And then by the end of the year, I hope to be doing and filming my own fan film for Wolverine. A much darker and PTSD kind of story.
You need
Post-apocalyptic, as Jared loves to say.
you need someone for that.
What's that?
You need some more bodies for that. Do you want me to come down?
I probably will. But basically, the vibe is, what can I do in 14 minutes that comments on this world but doesn't make too much of a stink?
Fair. I've got.
don't wanna
I mean,
do
we should
anything.
keep that to us. But I've got a. I'm working on a feature and thing that, and the cold open happens at Danny's bar. So if we can bring you up for that, we'll go. We're gonna try to do that.
That'd be dope. I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Bash me up, man.
I will. As long as you do the same to me.
Anytime.
Okay. It was really lovely, guys. Thank you so much. It's over an hour and a half of us chatting about the things we love, so that means a lot to me. And hopefully we can do it again with the next fight we'll do at Paddy.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Okay. Well, that's it. So everybody who's still here and who's watching this after time, go visit their websites, everything you've got. I've put some social links in the description. Also, do the YouTube thing so that we can do more of these. Like, comment, subscribe, send smoke signals to your family, whatever it is that you need to do. And I'll see you all in the next hit. Thanks, everybody.